Let's go.
Wednesday afternoon.
Players.
So if you bring on another goalkeeper, you've got to take off one of your outfield players. So technically, when the outfield player is substituted, they hold up his number, then the new goalkeeper takes his place rather than the place of the sent-off goalkeeper. So you have 10 players on there.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's. I'm glad you made that point.
Yeah.
So, could they not do the same for a manager? So, for instance, a manager, like say for instance, Arne Slot gets sent off, or he gets stadium. Could they then not still bring in Arne Slot, but then take off one of his coaching assistants? Would that?
No, because our Slot would not be being replaced if he was keeping his place on the bench or standing by the side of the pitch. Then clearly someone else can't take his punishment for him. But what they do usually, the manager who's been sent to the stand effectively for 2 games, he'll be in the stand with his phone, so he can communicate with one of his coaches on the bench. And he'll also say who he wants substituted and when he wants that to happen. I mean, you could argue that when a manager is sent from a touchline ban, you could argue that he shouldn't have any right to dictate what happens to the team on the pitch, because effectively he's still then having the same effect as he would if he was standing by them. But the authorities don't seem to go that far with it. They say no, it's punishment enough not to be, actually on the touchline where you would obviously want to be. But it's not. It must be very frustrating for a manager when they are sent up to into the stands somewhere, because they're not going to have that sense of control or shouting out instructions to the players that they might be used to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So if a manager gets a stadium ban, say for instance he gets 2 stadium match ban, does that mean he can't even be in the crowd?
If it's a stadium ban, he can't be in the crowd. No, he can't go to the stadium. Excuse me. And it's not something in my recollection that has happened very often. I sort of seem to have in my mind, I seem to remember one such incident, and it wasn't so long ago. It may have been Mourinho. As I say, he had a way of saying things and getting himself into trouble, didn't he? It could have been him, but certainly I will research this just for my own information as well. I'd like to know who that was, but they can actually be banned from the stadium. And you'd think for that to happen, it must have been a pretty serious offence, or maybe it came on top of, a few weeks before a touchline ban, and then they've come out saying all sorts of things to a ref or a linesperson that has caused, more. It's a bit like yellow cards. Now, one of our players, Will Hughes, very good midfield player, he had 8 bookings, yellow cards, up till before last night's game.
Yeah.
And actually someone said at the time, they said, they reckoned Will Hughes will probably get booked deliberately tonight. I mean, he's a great player, but he's a booking waiting to happen, if not a red card sometimes, because he's very full-blooded. But someone said, I reckon old will get deliberately booked, because our next 2 league games, I mean, on Saturday, Palace are home to Millwall, so that's going to be an interesting match. That's in the Cup. But the following Saturday, we play Ipswich at home, and then we're away to, can't remember the others, to Southampton, I think it is.
Yeah.
So there are 2 games.
Soft family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday, so join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom, Dr. Glad.
Interesting match. That's in the Cup. But the following Saturday, we play Ipswich at home, and then we're away to can't remember the others. It's Southampton, I think it is.
Yeah.
So there are two games which you might think Palace should actually win. Ipswich are down there, Southampton are as good as relegated. And so Will may have reasoned, or the club, who knows, I'm sure they wouldn't be thinking like this, but he may have thought, well, if I'm going to get a 2-match ban, which you get after 9 yellow cards, I may as well do it now, get it, because it'll be Ipswich and Southampton, which are not like playing one of the top teams.
Right, yeah.
So whether that was in his thinking is another matter. One would never accuse a player of deliberately getting booked, and I don't think Will Hughes would, because he's full-blooded anyway. But perhaps needless to say, he was booked. So he'll now miss, though he won't miss Saturday's game, but he'll miss the 2 coming league games, which means all being well, he's back available for a fairly tough end of season. But thankfully, Palace seem to be well safe now, because they're up to 36 points, 12th position, I think. So things are looking pretty good. But yeah, sometimes there are sort of strategic things a player or a team can do which can kind of make life a bit easier for them. But no, I don't believe for 1 minute Hughes would deliberately get booked. But the thing is, to come back to my point, that won't wipe off those bookings, even though he serves that 2-match ban. If before the end of the season he gets up to 15 yellow cards, he'll then have a 3-match ban. So it won't be in his interest to get too many more bookings. But yeah, in other words, a punishment can come on a punishment if it's kind of, you've had your warning once, you've had a 2-match ban, now you're going to get a 3-match ban, because it's all to do with discipline on the field, isn't it? Which clearly you do need.
You do need.
So yes, a manager who's got a stadium ban, I would imagine, unless it was something really worthy of a stadium ban, then it may be a second offence to go on top of a touchline ban. I don't know, but as I say, I will definitely find out who has been banned from the stadium. It does occasionally happen.
Yeah. So Arne Slot is in some kind of deep trouble if he gets banned from the stadium, because his influence is much more needed on the field.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got that this time. I don't think he's got more I think about it. I think he's got a touchline ban, but again, it's worth checking up, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I hope it's just I don't know why I'm hoping it's just a touchline ban anyway, because he's one of our biggest rivals. So I don't know why I'm hoping that, but anyway.
Soft family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday, so join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom.